Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me at my channel. I had a few requests lately to do some art journal pages, so I thought I would try to come up with some ideas, and I hope you like it. Here's the project I have for today. It is an art journal page that I was inspired by with these butterflies, and I'm starting on my I would say a journal book, and it is nice because the pages are in and out pages, and what that means is they come in and out of the book real easily, and you can take them out to work on if you would like. Here I just had some paint on my plastic palette here that I had left over from a mixed media project, and I'm just putting the paint on a blank piece of paper here so that I didn't use it. Oh, I'm sorry, so I didn't waste it, excuse me. The colors are Dina Wakley Cheddar, a Tim Holtz distress paint in Twisted Citron, and then of course my favorite blue, which is an acrylic paint, and that is Ocean. I'm using a stencil by Sean Petit, and that one is called, I don't have it right here right now, but I will link it below, of course. And I'm just pushing that blue paint through the stencil with my makeup sponge, and I feel better about the wasted paint that I had on my plastic palette there. This is how art journal pages for me come about. I don't want to waste my paint that I'm having for my mixed media pieces, and so I get out a journal page and I just use it up. Then when I need some inspiration or want to just play, I dig out my journal books and see what I have for background started, and if anything inspires me. So that's how it came about. Here I'm showing you that book, and it's an in and out book, and it has acrylic paint paper in it, so it's thicker than the normal background paper. I'm going to start a new art journal page here, and this is the one that we're going to complete together. I'm using a product by Tim Holtz, and it's called Distress Spray. It's been out for a while and I haven't used it much, and what you do is spray it on your paper or project, and you can let it dry, but I wanted to dry it quickly. Here it's dry, and I'm going to use some oxide inks, also by Tim Holtz, and we're going to see how that works on the backgrounds here. Oxide inks are very cool, and I have quite a few of them, so I'm trying to use some products that are in my stash. So you can see a bit here how that distress spray is creating a resist there on the background. I'm getting a couple of different colors so that it's a little bit darker, and I'm putting that all over the background to bring that white through, and it just creates sprays and splatters, and that's what I was kind of going for on my background here. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this art journal page, and that's the real nice part that I like about creating art journal pages, is that you can just kind of go and see where it takes you. I just re-inked my stamp pad there because I thought that maybe it was a little dry. So it's nice to have the re-inkers, and I'm using Stormy Sky and another blue, and I'll list everything below in the description box. And Broken China is the other blue. Tumbled Glass, I'm sorry, and Broken China. So the background is coming together, and I kind of liked that. It felt like maybe sky. And here's my favorite color of all the Tim Holtz products. I cannot live without it. It is fossilized amber. And so if I do continue to do more and more of these art journal pages, you will see this product over and over again. It is my true love. I love fossilized amber. Going back with a little bit of the blue, and I'm just using my foam applicators. These are also by Tim Holtz. They're a great product, and they put down ink real nice. So I finished up with the background here, and I am going to put down some vintage photo around the edges, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of black soot also on the edges to darken them up. My camera seemed to be slipping there a little bit. I apologize for that. So I really like to have a lot of black, I've noticed, on my art journal pages. So I think that that'll be something that is kind of my go-to. And I just like the black accents and everything. Art journaling for me is a little bit quicker than mixed media. I guess it's a little more freeing. You really don't have to think about where you're going or what you're doing. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. And let me know in the comments below what you think. Maybe I have no talent at it and you do not want to see it, and I will appreciate the comments. Just cleaning up my craft mat here, and this is a product that I love. I use it all the time, and it makes cleanup real quick and easy. And I'm using just a baby wipe and a clean towel. So I have a stencil here, another Tim Holtz product, and by no means am I being paid to do this for Tim Holtz. It's just a lot of the products that I like. I'm using some black Liquitex heavy body paint, and I'm going to add some black splatters to the background with a thin brush. And when you're doing splatters, it's nice to know the higher up you hold your brush to do your splatters, the smaller the splatters will be. The closer to the paper you do your splatters, the larger the splatters will be. Here I'm digging out a stamp that I've had in my stash for a long time, and I'm going to cover the stamp with some jet black archival ink and stamp it down on some scrap paper that I had. This is a little thicker paper that I had in my stash, kind of like mixed media paper, and I like the texture for that stamping. I'm going to do 2 or 3. I'm not sure what I did here, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. I just knew that I was going to put them in my piece. I'm going to set them aside and let them dry so I don't smear the ink. Archival ink is very quick drying, so it won't take very long at all. Just cleaning my stamp with my damp towel, setting it aside, and we will go back to the art journal piece. That stamp pad there that you see is very nice. I'll link it below. I use it a lot for my stamping, so I get a good impression. Here I'm just using a background stamp. It's one that I use a lot. It's called French Script, and I am adding some script to the background. You will see there also I did add some orange distressed ink, and that is spiced marmalade, and I put that through a circle stencil. I will list that below also. I apologize, I must have missed a little bit of that videoing. Just giving that ink a quick dry, and I did use potting soil in archival ink, and again quick drying. Here is a stencil, and I'm using some black embossing paste that I had in my stash, and it is a real nice shiny black when it dries, so I thought that would give some great texture to the background. Again, I really don't have a plan yet. I'm just kind of winging it. Love that stencil, love. And I'm just going to put a few spots down, and I'm really enjoying this. I didn't want to have that square edge on the stencil there, so I added a little bit more. Third spot there on top. And I have a plastic palette knife. They seem to work the best for me because they're real flexible. And again, I didn't care for that straight edge on the side of that stenciled area, so I was adding a little bit more. I'm going to take that to the sink and give it a quick wash. Here I'm adding fossilized amber to the butterfly with my sponge applicator, and I'm also going to add some of that spiced marmalade distress oxide ink and give that butterfly a quick color. I'm going to cut them out. And again, I really wasn't sure what I was doing with them. Wanted to get rid of the white edges around the butterfly, and I used the vintage photo. I'm keeping the colors kind of all together on this piece. The blue, the orange, the yellow, the brown. Keep it to the one color palette. I was just kind of looking for placement, and I had a piece of chipboard that was in my stash, and it says today is full of possibilities, and I just put a little vintage photo around the edge of that, and I'm going to adhere it down with some glue, and I like to use a product that is by Gina K, and it is Connect glue. It works really well. Here is a stamp that I had in my stash, and it kind of reminded me of the trails that sometimes you see with butterflies on different pieces. So that was the idea. I was going to put that underneath the butterfly as the trail that it would make. Imaginary trail, I guess it would be. Just adding some more texture and some more design to the background. And again, used my archival ink in black, jet black. Trying to figure out where my butterflies should go. Bringing that stamp up to the left corner so that the eye would travel all the way around the piece. I was hoping that's what I was accomplishing, and a little bit to the left bottom. There's that Gina K Designs glue, Connect glue. I love this product. And it really holds nice, but it gives it a little bit of wiggle room so that if you put it down crooked, you have a chance to fix it. I'm waiting for that texture paste to dry, so I had to leave it overnight. I didn't want to smear it. Now I'm just going to put a little pencil mark around the butterfly to mark where it's going. I'm going to use my brown vintage photo brown oxide ink, and I'm going to go over that pencil mark to create a shadow behind that butterfly. and it looks nice. It's something that I haven't really done before. I've finally decided where I'm going to put that top butterfly, and I have went around it again with a pencil real lightly. Just wiping a little bit of that brown off of that white distress spray. I got it a little too wide for the butterfly, but I like it. I'm going to adhere it down with my matte gel. And matte gel will smear this brown a little bit because I didn't let it dry. I believe that art journaling sometimes is a learning experience and sometimes things work better than others. I did actually get it to work. You can see how the ink is smearing a little bit there. Note to self, next time I maybe would have let that dry a little bit better. But it does look great in the end after I do some details on it, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I'm going to do the top butterfly the same with that brown background and adhere it with the matte gel. Sometimes when you're doing art journaling or mixed media or any type of crafting, you kind of have to learn how things react to other things, different brands, different products, different mediums. And it's, a learning experience. And I love all the different products to see how they work together. Like I said, it worked in the end. So that's all that matters, right? We can fix it. Art journaling is just a book for you. It's your creations. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. Here is a stamp that I had in my stash. I've never used it. Shame on me. I know that we all have those items. And it has some paintbrushes on it. And I thought, ooh, wouldn't that be kind of cool if I used the paintbrush for the body of the butterfly? Thought that was cool. So I went ahead and cut out 2 of those paintbrushes. And here I got a little smarter and I did cover the brushes with matte medium before I put the ink down on them. Here we go. I adhered the brushes down to the butterflies, and I had covered the brushes with matte medium. Let that dry. Very important to let that dry completely, because if you put your big brush pit markers over the top of that matte gel and it's not dry, it will wreck your markers and you will be very sad. So I let it dry, adhered it down. I was patient. I put down the color with my big brush pit markers, which I love. I got a little bit of cash from my mother-in-law for Christmas, and I am going to be investing in a few more markers, and I like those big brush pit markers. So that's going to be my little splurge this New Year. I'm going to get a few more of those brushes, or markers, excuse me. I'll list the ones below that I did use. I went all through the butterflies with my Micron black markers, pens, excuse me, and now I'm adding white highlights with my favorite Signo white gel pen. That is a must-have product for me. I love it. I use it probably on every project, whether it is art journaling or mixed media. It really, really defines the piece, and I'm just putting a few little highlights in there with my pen. I'm loving how it's turning out. I did want to make that black edge darker. I love the black edge. You'll see this when I do my mixed media pieces, and I'm going to continue doing that with my art journal pieces because I absolutely love how it frames the project. And I always do have a lot of black in my projects, and we're going to continue using that because I love that technique. Well, this has been fun. I really love the project. I think it turned out great. I'm just adding a little bit of black around that sentiment strip to make it pop a bit. I thought maybe it needed to be outlined. And thank you for joining me on this art journal journey. And maybe we'll do some more in the future. Let me know what you think, if you liked it, and if you want me to do some more. Here's some close-up shots, and thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Have a great day.